It's been over 20 years since MJ retired, but somehow his greatness is now being questioned. NBA fans, analysts, and former players all claim Jordan's era was watered down. Which leads us to the question, did MJ ever face any real competition? Now there's absolutely no way you can deny Jordan's greatness. He's got the championships, the MVPs, he was Defensive Player of the Year, was an All-Star, and is a Hall of Famer. But during Jordan's era, the NBA expanded from 23 teams in the 1984-85 season to adding 6 teams in the span of 15 years, creating 90 extra roster spots and indeed diluting the talent pool. But people fail to realize that Jordan had to win 4 separate playoff series every single year against Hall of Fame talent. In the start of Jordan's first three-peat, here are the players he had to beat to capture his first championship. In 1991, Jordan's first championship run, he had to beat 4 all-time great players, including Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Isaiah Thompson and the Bad Boy Pistons, and then deal with Magic Johnson and the Lakers in the finals. And the most incredible part is Jordan won the championship without any All-Star or All-NBA teammates. In 1992, Jordan would again face Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. That season, the Knicks were considered one of the greatest defenses in NBA history. The Bulls would then face a very good Cavs team led by Mark Price before getting to the NBA Finals. And in the NBA Finals, Jordan would face off against MVP runner-up Clyde Drexler and the Trailblazers. In that NBA Finals, he made sure everyone knew that he was not only better than Clyde Drexler, but he was the greatest player on the planet. By this point, Jordan had won back-to-back titles, and everyone knew he was the best player in the league. So by 1993, Jordan was getting everybody's best shot. In the first 2 rounds, Jordan would face off against the Atlanta Hawks and Dominique, and the Cavs and Mark Price. Then in the Eastern Conference, Jordan would again face off the Knicks, this time led by Pat Riley. The Bulls would face their toughest challenge in the NBA Finals, and that was facing off against Charles Barkley and the Suns. People don't realize how good this Suns team was. They were clearly the best team in the league, and they were stacked. Jordan literally had to put up 41 points a night just to win this series. Now I get it, the league may have been watered down a bit, but Jordan had to work like hell for that first three-peat. Now it's obvious the biggest knock on Jordan is that even though he retired, his team still made the playoffs. But honestly, remember, that season after Jordan retired, they added Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, and Tony Kukoc. Those 3 players made huge contributions to Jordan's next three-peat. But the key thing here is that without MJ, they couldn't win a ring. Once Jordan came back into the league, his next three-peat was him elevating his teammates. By this point, Jordan's best teammate Scottie Pippen was no longer in his prime, but was still a great player in the league. Jordan also had the weakest power forward center duo of a championship team, as they averaged a combined 15 points a game. During that 3-year window, Pippen would average 17 points, be an All-Star once, and make 1 All-NBA team. And Jordan's other starting guard, Ron Harper, would only average 7 points per game. Jordan, on the other hand, in that 3-year stretch, averaged 30 points per game. Say what you will, but MJ carried the Bulls in their second three-peat. On his way to his 4th championship, MJ faced 6 all-time great players, including Hardaway and Zoe, Shaq and Penny, and in the NBA Finals had to deal with Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp. Jordan's 5th ring, in my opinion, was the hardest one for him to get. He had to face off against one of the best defenses in NBA history, led by Dikembe Mutombo. They again had to deal with Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway, who were led by Coach of the Year Pat Riley. Then in the NBA Finals, they had to face off against the Utah Jazz, who were led by one of the greatest duos in NBA history in Stockton and Malone. Kids these days don't realize how good Karl Malone was. This man was an absolute force. He was the oldest MVP ever and is one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history. What's crazy to me is that his teammate John Stockton is so underrated. This man is one of the greatest point guards of all time. For those of you saying it wasn't competitive or watered down, the 1997 championship season for the Bulls featured 10 50-win teams and 3 teams that won 60 games. Jordan's 6th championship may have been the easiest one for him to get. He really didn't face much competition until the Eastern Conference Finals, where he faced Reggie Miller and his coach Larry Bird. And once the Bulls beat the Pacers in 7 games, they got their real challenge and faced the Jazz. The Jazz were no joke that year. Malone and Stockton literally swept the Lakers. And just in case you're wondering, the Lakers had 4 All-Stars: Shaq, Kobe, Eddie Jones, and Nick Van Exel. The Bulls would capture their 6th championship on this incredible shot by MJ, winning 6 titles in 8 years, and this would be the last shot Michael Jordan would take in a Bulls uniform. In the playoffs, with Jordan on the roster, the Bulls faced 18 teams that won over 55 games and defeated all of them. What's even more incredible is that Jordan defeated 2 out of the top 3 teams in 4 out of his 6 championships, and won 2 NBA Finals without home court. Jordan made a living torturing the best defensive teams in the league. In 6 postseasons, the Bulls had to face 14 top 10 defensive rated teams. Against them, Jordan averaged 30 points on 47% shooting. To be honest, the league may have been watered down a bit in the regular season, but when it mattered, Jordan faced tough competition. His teammates were solid but tend to be a bit overrated. Jordan pushed and anchored for all 6 of his rings. MJ faced some of the greatest competition in NBA history and won, leading the Bulls to become the greatest dynasty in NBA history. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for daily sports content.